Alright guys, here's a 10-minute or so video with me trying to diagnose what's going on with my amp and just running different tests with it to see what's going on here. This is for all you amp garage guys out there. You're going to understand this. Most of you, the rest of you guys won't. If you watch my other videos, just bands and stuff, this might not make sense to you. But anyway, there's a lot of E palm muting, like E power chord palm muting there, because I feel like that's the way to kind of test when you're going to be demanding the most out of the amplifier and the whole thing together, to as far as like pushing the bass capacity of it. An open E chord doesn't kind of demand as much as the palm muted chord does, so I just do that a lot as a test. So it's kind of just that same chugging over and over again, just to see if that crackle sound is still there that I'm trying to get rid of. And I still don't know what it is, so I'm out here on the road for the next 5 weeks, and I'm not gonna have a chance to get back in there and wrench until I get home. So you got any ideas? Comment down below. Thanks very much. A little crackling sound that seems to only be happening when there's a 5AR4 rectifier. So right now I have a 5V4 in there, and it can pretty much withstand anything. Okay, now it's, I got a really nice, I don't know if you can see it, it's a really nice US made GE 5AR4 rectifier in there. The output tubes are 6 F6s. They're not causing a problem being close to the bell of the speaker cover there. There's no problem with them rattling or anything like that. You just heard me cranking it pretty loudly with the 5V4 rectifier. But now with this 5AR4, we're going to hear that undesirable crackle sound. So the volume on the amp is the same. Everything's the same except for the rectifier tube. Can you hear that? You can kind of tell that, aside from the undesirable little artifact there, it's the sound is tighter and snappier sounding, especially with the palm mute. Okay, so that sounds kind of awesome actually, with the GE 5AR4 and the 6 F6s. So I'm going to swap those 6 F6s out for 6 V6s. And see what happens. All right, here we are now. The only thing that's different are the upper tubes, 6 V6s. There it is. All right, now let's see if it does it with these output tubes in the 5V4. It's doing it with that one too. That's really doing it. Okay, so now they look similar to the 6 F6s, but this is a pair of 6 F6Gs. The 5V4 is still in there. These are like what I would call like a nice shop pair of tubes, meaning they've just had the snot beat out of them for a decade and a half, and I just use them to, test an amp when I first build it and stuff. They're not really, they're a great determination to see if something's wrong. Trusty leftover. Remember, I don't know if you guys remember, I said this coupling cap was a little touchy. You hear that? Could that be the problem right there? mean, it could be, right? And the vibration just could be like agitating if that solder joint between the cap and the wire is not correct. It just could be vibrating it because I'm going to connect it to an exterior speaker cabinet, and you're going to hear it doesn't do that when it's connected to the exterior speaker cab because, sorry, I got a pick in my mouth, because it's not having that same vibration run up through the chassis of the amplifier, which makes sense. So it's not disturbing the port solder joint there. So now I'm kind of like figuring it out. I think see, I do this a lot. Resistor with this kind of like a, newfangled point-to-point style that I build these amplifiers with. The resistor and a cap gets fucking tied to, pardon my language, tied to a wire here. Soldered to a wire, and there's clear heat shrink on it. I don't know if you can see it too well, but I do try to heat shrink everything, every connection, and yeah, doesn't like that. It's not there. It's not up there on the pot. It's right fucking there, man. Son of a bitch. Now listen to it connected to the exterior speaker cap. Disturbing that connection there, right? Man, I think that's gotta be it. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna replace this, and we'll see if we'll have that all sorted out. Get back to you in just one sec here. Okay, here we go. I've got everything buttoned back up. I've replaced the what I think was the faulty component there with the new coupling capacitor, brand new wire. See, they got the yellow heat shrink there. I tested it. It seems pretty quiet with the chopstick. And I want to note, you're not going to be able to really see in the cap there because the writing's in the back, but I changed the value of the cap a little bit. It's a .015, which I think is pretty interesting. So it was a .022, and I dropped it down to a .015 so I could get, when turning it up, it just seemed a little muddy sometimes, and not even muddy, but whatever. We'll see how that sounds. And I just wanted to also show, because see, you guys are wondering those pictures. These leads are not touching the cathode bias resistors or the bypass capacitors. There, you can see they're not. It's not touching. Can't see as clearly on that side, but yeah, they're not. Those zip tied off leads are not touching any components, and everything else in here looks pretty good. I got the original, original, I guess, speaker in there, and it's all hardwired back up, so I'm gonna fire it up tomorrow morning and see what it sounds like. Okay, back to those 6F6 G tubes there. What's happening even without any signal really going through the amp there? Hear that still? It's not the tubes buzzing. Doesn't bother me. That crackle. Okay, now let's just do the same thing we've been doing here. Run it through that shop cabinet on the other side of the workshop. It's gonna sound great through that. Alright, bad news. Even with these other 6v6s in there, these 6v6Gs, it's still crackling.